Welcome, Reds, to the 100% United pod. I'm your host, TC, and here's my co-host, Scott. Hello, Scott.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself after the weekend?
Oh, great, thanks.
Good, man. On today's show, we look back on a refreshing 3-1 win away in Norwich. We look ahead to the Carabao Cup clash with Chelsea and check up on the results of the teams throughout the club. First, Scott, that was a bit like the old days on Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was funny that you were just mentioning watching old highlights of the old Fluid United, and it seemed like we at least had a bit of fluidity back with us this weekend, and just certain things were just coming off that in the past few weeks and months haven't been, and I don't think it's any coincidence that it was the reintroduction of Anthony Martial into the starting lineup.
Yeah, I think you're right. We were 3-1 winners. We also missed 2 penalties, which we'll touch on. So there was plenty of attacking play going on. But yeah, you're right. Anthony Martial was back in the team, back amongst the goals, and he makes such a difference, doesn't he?
He does. He makes everyone play much better around him, and he takes the goal-scoring pressure off Marcus Rashford's shoulders a bit and gives him a chance to thrive.
He does. He does indeed. As you say, he was restored to the starting lineup. I was hoping that we'd have a James, Rashford and Martial front three. I got my wish.
You did. You absolutely did.
It was a bit of all right as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was.
It was indeed. We went back to 4 at the back. So the 3 at the back was out the window. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I was surprised about that, given my formation prediction was 100% it was going to be a back 5. So yeah, I was surprised about that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's touch on some of the main talking points before we go over the match. Scott McTominay, again, given the licence of midfield. He's our main man in midfield at the moment. We had a corner on the 20th minute, 21st minute. It's fallen to Scott McTominay inside the box, and he fires home Manchester United's 2000th Premier League goal. Quite fitting for the lad, I think.
Yeah, it was well deserved as well, not just for him, but for the whole team. I thought we got a huge grip on the game. It just showed really good instinct. He was going away from goal and still managed to get his foot around it. I was really happy for him.
Obviously, a superb finish, wasn't it?
It really was. It really was. So, given it was the 2000th goal, let me ask you, what has been your favourite goal in those 2000 Premier League goals?
Oh, blooming hell, you could have told me before the show so I could have a think about it, Scott.
I just thought about it now, sorry.
I know, I always catch you unawares, don't I? Let me have a think. Out of the 2000 Premier League goals, do you have your favourite while I think about it? And you can't have Giggs' goal in the semi-final of the Cup,
obviously
all right?
not, but I think there's obviously 2000 is a lot of goals, and it's hard to say a favourite is either the best goal or the most important goal.
Yes.
So as a massive Paul Scholes fan, you'd think that volley at Aston Villa back in, 2005, 2006?
Yeah.
It was pretty incredible. But it wasn't a very important goal, was it?
You know what? The goal that keeps on popping into my mind, I don't know if it's my favourite, but I loved Cantona's chest and volley over Seaman against Arsenal, crossbarring in at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
That's
that
one
was a great goal.
I don't know why that goal, for some reason, it encapsulates Eric's outrageousness, and also lobbing Seaman's always a bit fun. So yeah, I think that's popping into my mind, mate, but I'd have to have a really good, long think about it. Out of 2000, I couldn't have one favourite, I don't think.
Yeah.
But 2000, what memories? I mean, we're in a bit of a bad patch at the moment, but come on, we've over our United supporting lives, we've been blessed beyond belief.
We definitely have.
We
definitely have.
Now look, moving on to the game, 29 minutes. Daniel James steams through Ben Godfrey. Seemed a bit of a tangle with the VAR. It seems if you just get your foot in the way of someone who's trying to strike the ball, then you can sort of buy a foul. Ref pointed to the spot. Do you think it was deserved? I did think it was, personally.
I think it was a bit soft, if I'm honest. I think if it was given against us, you'd be a bit furious with it. But it's the kind of thing that if it was outside of the box, it would be given a foul 9 times out of 10.
Yes. And if it was done on a defender in his own box, it would be given 100 times out of 100.
Definitely.
But, an attacker fouling the defender, they always give them. Penalty was given. Marcus Rashford stepped up. Now, we've discussed this before, Scott, haven't we, that we think Anthony Martial is our best penalty taker. And we've discussed before how all this nonsense that we've sort of basically put all around our penalty takers and all around the penalty strategy of the club, it hasn't worked, has it? We did flag up that we were playing a dangerous game, and it's come back to bite us in the rear because we missed 2 penalties on Sunday. We've won the game, but we've missed a hell of a lot of penalties this season. And there's a reason, obviously, why teams and experienced managers give one man the penalty duties. Because obviously, there's been trial and error throughout 100 years of football, and that's probably the best tactic.
Yeah, it's just unnecessary pressure, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think 90% of penalty taking is mental.
Yeah.
And when there's so much more pressure ramped up against you. And let's be fair, I mean, Rashford's penalty wasn't the best. It wasn't like the one he hit the post and it was agonisingly wide.
Yeah.
This wasn't a great penalty,
No.
but you could just see the weight of the world were on his shoulders when he was running up to take it.
Yeah, so what I think, Scott, is that, of course, if you miss too many penalties, you've got to be taken off duty. That goes without saying. But when someone is your main penalty taker, there shouldn't be any doubt as to whether they're your main penalty taker or not. They should be taking the penalty in full confidence that they're taking the next one, whatever happens. Whereas in our team at the moment, it really is miss one and you're out.
Yep.
And that is too much pressure. It's too much pressure on the penalty takers. And now what's going to happen is now Pogba will come back in, and then Pogba might never come back in. Apparently he's injured till December now. We're here, which is another bloody story.
I think the pressure comes from the fact that we don't win those games.
Yeah.
Here we won 3-1, we've missed 2 penalties, and no one said anything really about it. It's not like the weeks that those penalties were hugely decisive.
No.
Obviously, there is some sort of flack given to a player who misses a penalty and then we don't go on to win the game. But if we could just clear up our own mess and go on to win the game, then the pressure really wouldn't be as massive as it is.
You're right, and it was Tim Krul that saved the penalties. He had some good games against us in the past. We were kind of worried that history is going to repeat itself. But I tell you what, Scott, one way to brush away the clouds of the penalty miss is to score 1 minute later. And Marcus Rashford from guess who?
Yeah.
Daniel James again. I've been saying for weeks, if someone had put his blooming chances away, he'd start getting some assists. Now he's started to get some assists, 2 and 2. Plus, it should have been 3 and 3 because he won that penalty on 29 minutes. So, really, really good ball through to Rashford, wasn't it?
Incredible.
Unbelievable.
Incredible.
Beautiful stuff.
But what a perfect touch.
And something it was, but can we just touch on the ball first? Because Danny James, he's a pace merchant. He's not someone who's meant to be picking out passes like that.
Yeah, if he's adding that to his game.
I tell you what, he's been an absolute blooming revelation, hasn't he? And go on, over to you. Brilliant touch.
What a touch. Yeah, just perfect. And it reminded me of this goal he scored at City a couple of years ago when he sent Demichelis into retirement.
Yeah.
Effortless finish. And it was the good and the bad of Marcus Rashford in the space of 1 minute, wasn't it?
It was, and just popped it through Krul's legs.
What are you worried about?
Yes, indeed. 41 minutes, just 11 minutes later. Todd Cantwell, handball from Fred, off to VAR, penalty again. This time Martial steps up, he went the other way, he went right, and Krul saved again. I'm sure you were as surprised as me to see Martial miss.
I was. But again, it was a good penalty. It was a great save. Am I right in thinking that Louis van Gaal brought him on in the 2014 World Cup for the penalties? You remember that?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Yeah. Tim Krul is a good penalty saver. And it was unlucky, wasn't it? Because here we go. At the time, it's 2-0. Mm-hmm. We could perhaps draw, lose the game, and all this pressure would come on these 2 penalty misses. It was worrying.
It was. But we did all right. Look, first off, you have to say that was a really, really good performance.
Yeah.
We were looking back to something like our old selves. I must say, again, we had a bit of a second half drop off again, like we said for many weeks.
Yeah, I think, again, Martial was really central to a lot of positive play going forward, and he's just coming back into fitness. He perhaps waned off in the second half, obviously after his goal. Yeah. His goal was unbelievable.
Shall we just mention that now? 73 minutes. Martial slipped through it. I have a needle to Rashford. Rashford stood off, absolutely off the chain, back heel, into Martial. Martial with a delicious clipped, sliced, almost like a golfer slice out the sand into the empty net. Unbelievable goal. Really, really, really good stuff, mate.
Really was. And it's sort of what I was saying last week. When Martial is playing central and Rashford's playing left, he's sort of given the license to drift inside, and he was just so direct in his play that it reminded me of the old York and Cole.
I was just about to say, Scott, York and Cole would have been all over that like a rash. They would have loved it, wouldn't they? It was that good. And, let's just hesitate for a moment on this Rashford thing, because we've been saying he shouldn't be our sole number 9, our main number 9. But let's not miscommunicate to the fans here that we love Marcus Rashford. We absolutely love him. Playing off the left, playing number 9 sometimes. We just don't think he should be the man with all the weight on his shoulders as United's number 9. He's younger than Tammy Abraham, don't you?
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's, it's just one of those illusions because he's been around so much. So look, unbelievable link up from those two. I mean, really, really, really. I mean, that's probably the best United goal I've seen. I don't know for how long, but a long, long time.
Yeah. All 3 finishes were just well executed, and it was the United of old, wasn't it?
It was. Unfortunately, on the 88th minute, Erno Hernandez steamed through our defence, fired past De Gea. McTominay gave the ball away. Shouldn't really have given the ball away. James Garner, who played pretty well, should have made the tackle there. It was pretty weak, and we have to flag it up. If you don't do your job, we have to flag it up, and then just fired it home. We should really have taken a clean sheet there. It was a bit of a shame.
Yeah, but it just showed, we played on Thursday, and I don't know, the pace of the game was really tapering off in the end, and yeah, it was the first mistake McTominay made all day as well.
It was, and it was the 88th minute. We're 3-0 up already.
Yeah.
Look, if this can be the complaint for the oncoming weeks, then bring it on.
Yeah.
If that's the complaint, then I'm happy as Larry. Before we go into the stats and a few nice little takeaways from the game, who was your man of the match? I know you mentioned McTominay then. He's probably a front runner.
I'm actually going to say Marcus Rashford.
Yeah?
Fantastic assist for Martial's goal. Fantastic goal himself, and showed great mettle even though he'd missed with a... let's be fair, had his penalty saved. It's not as though he missed the penalty.
Yeah.
He had it saved. And I just think he was given so much freedom, so much more freedom playing out there on the left, and links up so well with Martial, and is a really good thing going forward.
Yeah, it's so much better.
Who was yours?
I did like McTominay's performance, I must say. I'd probably go with McTominay, I'd say.
Right.
86% pass percentage, 11 recoveries, 4 out of 4 take-ons in the stats. That looked like a take-on when he gave the ball away for the goal, so I don't know about that. And a goal. You never know who's putting these stats together, do you?
No.
But yeah, probably McTominay. God, I love his attitude. And 2,000th goal for United in the league as well. You know what, though, Scott? Looking at it was the team performance. You got Martial doing the business there. You got Wan-Bissaka. He did the business.
Yeah.
You've got all kinds of players putting in performances. It was hard to choose a man of the match because we had a few. Rather than choosing a man of the match normally these days, we find it hard to find one.
Yeah, you're right.
So, a much improved pass percentage, possession-wise, 54 to 46 in United's favour. And then it gets nice for the first time in many weeks, Scott. Shots, Norwich 10, United 21. Yeah. On target, Norwich 3, United 11. We haven't seen that for weeks.
No.
Corners, Norwich 1, United 10. Fouls, Norwich 13, United 10. That's right. That's more like it stats-wise.
Of course it is. I'm telling you, it's the fact that Martial's come back in the team and we actually have some attacking intent.
We're saying that, Scott. Martial now, so that's 5 appearances in the league, 3 goals, 1 assist. 0.6 goals per match, 117 minutes per goal, which is pretty useful. But then again, we've got an interesting stat here. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when he starts Anthony Martial, he wins 77% of his matches. When he doesn't start Martial, he wins 27%. That's a monster difference.
It is.
So yeah, the interesting thing is here is that we're talking about what we see, and then the stats are backing it up. So, you're looking at, you're saying United look way better, and then you look at the stats, they back it up. Martial back in the team, his stats back it up. Another one who needs mentioning is Wan-Bissaka. Again, got booked, so he mistimed a tackle for once, unbelievable. Made 11 tackles, 3 intercepts, and blocked 2 crosses. He's the spider lives on, he's unbelievable.
11 tackles is unheard of. I couldn't believe he was just everywhere.
Literally everywhere.
Yeah.
So look, a really positive game. We needed it. Back-to-back away wins. The away boys in fine voice as well. Anything else to add with the Norwich game?
Was the keeper off his line for any of the penalties for you?
But they're not doing it, are they? They're not VAR in the league.
Yeah.
They said that before, so it's kind. You know what? Actually, let's touch on VAR. There was quite a bit of mayhem at the weekend. The truth is it's not really working, is it?
I don't know. It's adding a whole new layer of drama, that's for sure. I think it is getting a lot of decisions correct. I think in the Arsenal-Crystal Palace game yesterday, Wilf Zaha was booked for diving in what was just a clear foul, and VAR got that right. You got to say Arsenal had the winning goal scratched off by VAR, pretty unfortunately, but
it was so naughty.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
it was. This is the thing with VAR. When we were 3-0 up, they were never going to go to VAR. And so who's to judge that 3-0 is a scoreline that doesn't deserve VAR? Because then Norwich scored 1 before the United scored 2, and then suddenly we could have done with that VAR. So for me, it's not working at all. I mean, we're doing all right out of it. We're going penalties galore. We're doing all right, aren't we?
The thing is, sometimes we look at these referees as they're trying to have a field day as well. And you think for the VAR referee, the one that's not, essentially just the glamorized fourth official, the fact that he's not chosen to be the proper referee for the game might influence his decision-making, and he might be impulsive and make more decisions, who knows. I don't know, it adds a whole new layer onto things. And,
Yeah.
I just can't believe that in all the weeks and all the months that it's been a controversy, how no referee has actually gone to look at the monitor themselves.
Well, what is the rule about that? Because now they're having a meeting now about putting monitors properly pitch side so that the refs can do it themselves. And what is the Premier League legislation? Because at the moment, it just seems to go straight upstairs and they don't go to the pitch side at all.
Yeah, and half the time you don't even know who that referee is. It's crazy.
Exactly. And you don't know the conversation going on in the ear or anything like that. What I will say, you've got people compare it to rugby, and rugby fourth official, as they call it. But they're mic'd up. They're all mic'd up. So you hear exactly what goes on.
Yeah.
And what happens in general is the ref will actually watch it on the big screen. He'll look up at the big screen and he'll have the guy in his ear and he'll say, right, it's coming on the screen now. Look out for that. Look, it looks like a high tackle. I'd suggest a red card. And then the ref goes, okay, yeah, red. You reckon red? The fourth official says, yeah, I reckon red, yeah. And then it's a red card. But there's that conversation happens and you as a fan hear it. And as a fan, that's quite comforting. Even when they make a bad decision, you know the thought process. You know what they've seen. Whereas in football, it could literally, we don't know what conversation's going on at all, if any.
It doesn't even look like there is a conversation.
No.
It looks like VAR referee's going to make this decision, and then the decision gets made, and there's no going back on it. It does seem like it's taking longer than expected to get integrated, doesn't it?
A little bit. I suggest that it will never be fully integrated properly because I just don't think it's fit for purpose for football. But that's just my opinion. I might be wrong. I might grow to like it, but at the moment, I just think the game's better off without it. I don't think it's adding. I don't think we're getting better decisions. So that's the first thing. We're still getting a mixed bag. There's still some that we think are correct, still some that we think are incorrect. We still think our team gets gypped sometimes, and we think our team gets lucky sometimes out of VAR. So why not just go back to the refs? We're not getting any higher standard of decisions, I don't think, which is the main reason for it, surely.
Yeah, you're right. I remember a few months ago we were talking about it, and you said that when you're at a game, United score, you just like to lose it and go crazy and celebrate the goal.
Yeah.
That's essentially what happened at Arsenal yesterday. That it was 2 minutes or something after the goal went in it gets disallowed, and there wasn't any announcement. It was dodgy, but there was no announcement. There was nothing. There's just the referee standing in the middle of the field with his finger in his ear. It says check in goal, but there's no checking it for what. There's no replay at all.
No.
It just seemed like everybody was completely in the dark about it, and then when it does get overruled, all the stuffing is left out the building, it might as well just end the game there.
Yeah, I know. It's bizarre. And the other thing, on the other hand, is like when a team scores against us, instead of it being a stake through the heart now, I'm doing an imaginary TV with my fingers saying VAR every bloody time, just in case, and just to wind up the other fans as well. Just VAR, just put the doubt in their minds. So yeah, I don't like it at all. But things have changed many times throughout the years. I mean, the keeper used to be able to pick the ball up when you back pass to him. So, and some people opposed that rule. And it was definitely a good change. So you never know, but at the moment, it is not working, in my opinion.
No, but it's taken them a few tries and a few years to perfect the offside rule. It took a few years of everyone not really being on the same page, or people getting flagged offside when they shouldn't have. And now, for the last few years at least, it seems like everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, we had the daylight years, didn't we? Remember that?
Yeah.
There had to be daylight, and then it wasn't, and then it was. Oh, we've had loads of versions throughout the years.
Yeah, and remember how players could not used to stand offside at all.
No.
And then they were able to.
Absolutely.
They're able to start in an offside position, and
and
Van Nistelrooy was the best at that.
Yeah, and it wasn't that long ago actually as well that you. So if the ball was played forward and you were standing in an offside position, by a corner flag, you could be by the corner flag, you're offside. That's it. Flag goes straight up, you stop straight away, and it's offside, and we play on. And you're right, they changed the rule, and Rude was the main protagonist, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Of creeping off, just slipping back on at the last minute and using that line to our favour. It was ingenious from Rude.
Yeah,
actually.
it really was.
What a striker!
Yeah, one of my favourites.
Just quietly. Yeah, brilliant stuff. 3-1 away win at Norwich. We thought we were saying it wasn't going to be an easy game, but let's be real here. This is a usual United result. We should be going to Norwich and winning 3-1, having 21 shots on target. 11 shots on target, 21 shots on goal, dominating the possession and coming away with a 3. That should be the way, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it definitely should. But when you go through 2.5 months of only scoring 1 goal a game,
Yeah.
you sort of start to lose a bit of confidence and you take what you can get.
Yeah.
I think as well, we're starting to prepare for the worst, and that's something that's crazy. How many times did you used to go to a United game and think that there was a possibility that we could lose it?
Yeah.
And here we are, for a few days coming up against Norwich. Here, you were saying it yourself. You were like, their striker hasn't scored in a month. He's probably going to score this week, and that's just the way things are going to go.
Well, I said that because I knew if I said it, he wouldn't.
Yeah,
so you're welcome.
Well done, you.
I'm joking. I totally agree, Scott. I was nervous going into it, and if they had scored first, who knows what would happen?
Yeah.
But let's not dwell on anything negative. 3-1 winners, and blooming good stuff, mate. We move on to Chelsea in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday. Massive test for Ollie. He's going up against a manager who he's taken over Chelsea more recently than Ollie took over at United, and he's having a good time of things. He's going to come out attacking. You would have liked to have thought he'll play some youngsters. Ollie will play some youngsters. It's going to be a real humdinger, mate.
It is. They've won 7 games consecutively in all competitions. It's certainly going to be a different outfit than the team that we played at the beginning of the year.
Yes, it is. It is. And although in the first game they did play some good stuff as well, didn't they, to be fair?
They did.
They did play some good stuff, but we were too strong for them on the day, mentality-wise, I think. But yeah, it's going to be a different kettle of fish. Although, let's look and see that against the bigger teams, United have fared pretty well of late. It's the games we should, in inverted commas, be winning that we've struggled. So, we've had good results against the teams at the top. You expect it to continue, or do you think it's a tricky tie, isn't it?
It really is, but at least the last 9 days we've shown some good form. We've 2 wins and a draw, and let's just hope that we can go and give a good account of ourselves, as I was saying, for the previous few months when I wasn't expecting a good result, but
yeah,
hopefully a good performance.
And any youngsters you particularly want to be seeing out there? Maybe Brandon Williams again?
Yeah, I think you're going to see Williams, aren't you? Maybe even James Garner.
You almost said Joel again. For anyone who doesn't know, Joel Garner was a fast bowler for the West Indies cricket team in the 70s, 80s, I believe. And for some reason, Scott keeps on calling James Garner Joel Garner, but there you go. You think he might get another run out?
I do. Fred was all right, but I think McTominay is going to keep his place, and
better.
And James might play next to him.
Did you see in recent weeks that that the players were giving Fred a bit of stick because apparently, we were beside ourselves in the summer when we heard that Fred was off being married.
Yeah.
When he should have been out of pre-season. Apparently, he booked his wedding for then because he thought he was going to be at the Copa America, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he thought he was going to be there, so then he wouldn't have had to be in pre-season. And so, therefore, his wedding would have been in his holiday time.
Oh.
So apparently, he was getting a lot of stick of it. That's fine, all very, very funny and all the rest of it. But when you don't get selected for the Copa America, change your bloody wedding.
Yeah, it does make it more explainable, but there are some more questions.
Yeah, let's leave that where it belongs.
Yeah.
But so Fred, and what about Greenwood up top?
Maybe. I think Martial might play, but your guess is as good as mine, TC.
And maybe Martial will start and maybe bring him off early, depending on the score. We shall see. You know what, Scott? It's really, really tricky to guess a Premier League lineup for Ollie at the moment. As you said, didn't even get the formation right at the weekend.
Yeah.
But then to go for the Carabao Cup match, it's even harder, or a Europa League, because sometimes he goes a bit more with the youth and sometimes he goes a bit less. And we really, there's no pattern to it, is there?
Yeah, I do see us actually reverting to the 5 at the back for this game.
Yeah.
I think it just gives us a better opportunity to defend and to not lose the game.
Yeah. I agree that's probably the way we'll go. And then we can play 2 up top as well.
Yeah.
Which would be nice. So yeah, on to the bridge on Wednesday. So good luck to the boys. It's going to be massive. Some other teams in the club in action over the weekend. The women, 4 from 4 now, 2-0 winners against Reading. Kirsty Hansen, Jess Sigsworth from Jackie Groen, and an unbelievable assist. Kind of similar to Danny James's assist in a different way, actually. 2-0 for the women. They're March, first year in the top division, and they're tearing up trees.
Yeah, still undefeated.
Really, really good stuff. Let's hope they continue that. We covered the under-23s on the last pod, so jump back 1 pod if you want to have a match review of that. We did it straight after the game. Another great win for them. The under-18s aren't in action till next week. So full house for the teams at Manchester United this weekend.
Yeah, another good week.
Really another really good week. 2 away wins. And like we say, we're trying to build something here. We're trying to get out of a period of time that's been really hard for us United fans. And there is a bit of light at the end of the tunnel now. So let's keep this positivity going and hope we can turn over Fat Frank and his gang on Wednesday. Thanks for listening again, Reds. Remember to subscribe, 5-star review on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back later in the week. Thanks for joining me again, Scott.
Thank you, TC.
Cheerio, Reds.
Ta-ra.